What's going on, guys? Welcome to Everything Always. My name's Michael Roman, aka Allfires, and we just got a ton of brand new Marvel announcements and news coming from Bob Iger, none other than the CEO of Disney himself. We're going to talk about exactly what he confirmed for next year's theatrical slate. Some people are freaking out because he excluded 2 movies from it. We're going to talk about that, as well as what's going on now with the new direction at Marvel. He had some very specific details and poignant statements about that. We're covering everything from the new franchise focus and the major pullback in quantity to what's going on with the 2025 theatrical release slate, Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, Blade, and Captain America Brave New World. But first, if you could grab the subscribe button. We do daily Marvel content at the channel, and that's all we do. Everything from official Easter egg breakdowns, trailers, and reviews to the occasional industry insider report and everything in between. So if that sort of thing's for you, hit the subscribe button, leave a comment down below. That will automatically enter you to win our ongoing PS5 giveaway. The next one is right around the corner. Again, all you got to do is be a sub, leave a comment if you want, stick around to the end of the video. We get into all the giveaway stuff again there. Okay, so first up, Bob Iger, when talking about the 2025 theatrical release slate for Disney as a whole, only mentioned Marvel Studios' Fantastic Four and Captain America Brave New World as upcoming titles from Marvel. He did not mention Thunderbolts, and he did not mention Blade, which are also both on the 2025 theatrical release slate. Now, it could be the fact that they're only going to release those 2 movies, and that would be more in line with some of the other things he said on the call. So I forgive people for jumping to that conclusion that this means that they were removed. But other industry insiders were very quick to weigh in and say, as of at least right now, Thunderbolts and Blade are still on the 2025 release schedule, but maybe simply weren't mentioned because he was covering the full Disney theatrical slate, and those weren't as big as the 2 that he did bring up in Fantastic Four and Captain America. But it was the other 2 pieces of information he brought up regarding Marvel that I think are a lot more newsworthy, so let's start with the first. He said specifically, quote, that they've reduced volume at Disney and reduced output, particularly at Marvel Studios. That's because obviously the quantity of material they were producing throughout Phase 4 was A, not sustainable, and B, not a great business model. It ended up diluting their brand and losing focus for a lot of the fan base, which is exactly what Bob Iger identified as being one of the major problems when they rehired him almost a year and a half ago. That being said, that's why Marvel Studios fans sort of thought, oh, you're reducing volume and you're only confirming 2 movies next year. Could it be that we're only getting 2 movies? We're only getting 1 this year. And so again, I forgive fans for jumping to that conclusion, but what it does mean, and for certain, is that even if we do get 4 full movies next year in 2025, do not expect that going forward. I'd be surprised if they even stay at 3 movies, more revisit something like they did when it used to be only 2 movies a year. And the same goes for Disney Plus. We are not going to be getting 4 Disney Plus series from Marvel. Even with the animated stuff, they are going to stop all of that and roll it way back. So you can expect 1 or 2 TV shows, 2 or 3 movies tops from Marvel, not the same way it's been going. Now, to expound on that, the next thing he said is even more important, that Marvel Studios is going to, quote, starting to focus on some of its stronger franchises going forward, and that he would leave it at that. And obviously what he's talking about is the X-Men, the main members of the Avengers, and the Fantastic Four, focusing on the most popular IP, instead of getting shows like Agatha Coven of Chaos and Echo on Disney Plus, and then wondering why those shows don't do well even with Marvel fans when their publishing was never as popular as some of the other characters like Silver Surfer and Ghost Rider, which have been noticeably absent from Phase 4 of Marvel Studios. And listen, you can explain it away with a lot of the reasons that they had in the characters that they chose, and I actually don't fault them for taking a shot at trying to break some B-tier characters or less popular characters in the afterglow of Avengers Endgame. Because let's face it, if a Shang-Chi solo film or the Eternals were going to work, that's when it was going to work best. But it's the way they did it, continually prioritizing B characters, less popular characters, what I would even consider tertiary characters, shows like Agatha and Echo, characters that were never that popular in the fan base to begin with, one after another, has just led to the sort of level of disinterest we have now, and especially with the lack of any Silver Surfer, Ghost Rider, and fan favorite characters, which is extremely exciting to hear that Bob Iger not only identifies this and understands, but that they're getting back to that now. So when there is 1 Disney Plus show out of the year, it's Ghost Rider, not Agatha Coven Chaos, not Ironheart. And of course, I know there are going to be some who take this the wrong way, and that just happens that I'm picking those characters because those are the characters the TV shows have. There are a lot of female-led projects that we would all have an overwhelming amount of interest in, and they can start with Storm. And that's where I think, I mean it. I absolutely mean it. If you had a Storm solo show, I guarantee you the ratings would be off the charts. And so when Bob Iger says they're going to start to focus on way more popular franchises, look, back in Fox, and Sony days. You know why they did X-Men and Spider-Man movies? Because the only way any of this had a shot of being made was that you went with the most popular IP. Again, Marvel Studios thought that they could take all this less popular IP, maybe on the back of the success of Guardians of the Galaxy, which had James Gunn's magic all interwoven in with it, but they thought they could take everything they had garnered in Avengers Endgame and then stick it into Phase 4 and break all these new characters, which I argue might not have worked, but wouldn't have been the disaster it was if there were still characters like Iron Man and Captain America as the major focus to pull it all together. And you didn't even have to keep those characters around, but when you decided to kill them off, Kevin Feige, Marvel Studios, you needed to have replacements for them. And it's true that the replacement they could have thought they were going to use was T'Challa. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. But as soon as they knew that they weren't going to recast him, they should have immediately started investing in characters to make our eyes of the fans, to be our point of view characters. That could have been Shang-Chi, that could have been Captain Marvel, but they would have needed to have showed up in way more projects than they did now. Shoot, it could have been Shuri, but we needed to have seen her continually and seen multiple projects with her to know that she's sort of the glue which all of this rotates around, which right now Marvel Studios does not have. They do not have that sun at the center of their solar system, the thing that makes it all make sense. And so while searching for that and prioritizing unpopular characters, there just has not been that lightning rod, that thing to bring it all together and to bring the fan interest back. Hopefully it is not too late, and I feel like the number one question I get asked, mostly by my friends who feel like asking it, but by you guys too, is if I think that it is too late, and I don't. And the reason that I don't think it's too late is the same reason you're still watching my channel, the same reason we've been fans since day one, is because our love of the comics is rooted in the IP, the characters, and the publishing the comics themselves, which have always existed before the MCU, and will continue to exist after it. If they can find a way to reignite that fandom that's already there, that's already latent and built over the last 50 years the way that it has been, then they will be right back where they were, just like a band that maybe you get tired of because they put out a couple of bad singles or albums, but then they release a banger and they are right back at the height of popularity. That's exactly what Marvel can and will do if they prioritize the right characters and tell the right stories. But you guys let me know all your thoughts as always down below. I'm all ears. Quickly, let's get into the giveaway stuff before I let you go. Alright, we're still giving away PlayStation 5s at the channel. Our next giveaway is for X-Men 97, whenever that will be. We're going to start giving away tickets to Madame Web this weekend with the Super Bowl drop for the Deadpool trailer. If you want to be entered to win or for any of the future giveaways here at the channel, super simple. All you got to do, hit the subscribe button, then leave a comment down below. And because it's truly random, the more videos you comment on, the better chance you have of winning. All winners will be announced at the end of videos, the same way we're doing here. The best way to keep up with the content has always been to hit the notification bell with all notifications turned on. And as always, if you like today's video, I'd appreciate it if you'd hit the like button. My name's Michael Roman. You can find me in a couple of places, Instagram and Twitter at @MFires. You can also find me on Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Apple, iTunes, wherever you listen to original music under the name Allfires. And while I sincerely appreciate you checking my music out, thanks for checking this channel out. Stick around. We'll be posting again real soon.